Hey everybody, this is Joseph Vogely of Stoegele Films. I am the co-writer, the director, and the creator of the new slasher phenomenon, Specimen 6, which will be out on DVD in June 2020. Welcome to another episode of Stoegele Films Reviews. I have something very special I want to talk to you about today. Something that inspires me, that has inspired me, as a filmmaker, as a writer. Sorry, I think my finger went up there. I was pressing something. I want to talk to you about something I saw about 1.5 to 2 years ago now over at Crypticon Seattle. The movie hasn't come out yet, and I'm really looking forward to when it does come out. It is a film that was directed by a very good friend of mine named Tanya Atomic. Go to her YouTube channel right now. She has really cool content on that channel. She does like makeup reviews, movie reviews, lots of cool stuff. I know I'm a guy that does not wear makeup, but I still like watching those videos because as a director, I think it's important to know different things about makeup because I'm always having people put it on them. So that's why I watch those, but I'm sure everybody has a good reason to go to that channel because there's always, I think there's something for everybody over there. I really do. But what I want to talk about right now is Tanya Atomic as a director. I want to talk about this film that I saw a couple years ago called Manos Returns. I'm not going to talk about too much about what goes on in it because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but Manos Returns is the sequel so many decades, 4 decades later, 5 decades later, of this film right here, Manos, the Hands of Fate. Manos, the Hands of Fate has been billed as possibly one of the worst films ever made. I think that's on like a technical basis. There is like an actual, there's just nugget of a really good story there. This young family goes over to, they're on vacation, they're driving, they find this old house that they end up staying at overnight because it's getting dark and they just can't keep driving anymore, and so they pull over and they stay at this house, and there's this weird little man named Torgo that shows up and says, no, you can't stay here. But for some reason, this family says, no, we must stay at your house. So I was like, that's kind of weird that like you just show up at a random person's house and say, hey, I'm going to stay here because it looks like an inn. So obviously it is an inn, but it's not. So he says, no, the master would not approve. And then Torgo ends up bending over and saying, okay, come in, I guess. Anyway, this family ends up getting manipulated by this magical being named the Master, right there on the cover, and Tom Neiman, and he ends up having his brides like tie them up, and he takes one of the wives as a bride, yada yada. Super fun movie. It's more of an endurance test than like a good movie, because it is a bad movie for all likes and intents, but there's a lot to enjoy there. Kind of like Plan 9 from Outer Space. There's a lot of heart in the film. There's a lot of, you can tell the performances of like people that like are enjoying being there and just enjoy like performing and being artists themselves. This all comes through really well in the film, and I highly recommend going and pick up the Blu-ray or the DVD. Or if you just want, you can watch it on YouTube because it is technically a public domain movie. This one right here technically isn't because it was a lost footage that was found. This looks crispy. It's like, it's beautiful, more beautiful than maybe it should be. Anyway, so there's lots of fans around the world of Manos, the Hands of Fate. And a lot of people were clamoring for a sequel. And lots of people have tried to make a sequel but have failed. But one person has succeeded, and that person is Tanya Atomic, and she was a super good director. She makes super cool stuff. She made this movie called Plain Devil that I really like. My favorite part is the little raisin scene. I won't say too much about that. I will do a review about that some other time. She has lots of her short films and trailers for her movies at her YouTube channel. Anyway, so Manos Returns, I had the good fortune of watching it at Crypticon a couple of years back, and I'll stop playing with that. I don't want to say really hardly anything about it other than, like, you know, keep your eyes out, and this movie should be coming out here very soon. I've heard rumors that it's coming out sometime. I can't wait to get my hands on a Blu-ray personally. If you go check out the IMDb, there's more information about that. Lots of cool people have worked on this film. Tanya Atomic, my friend Joe Sherlock, was a cinematographer on the film. Lots of the actors involved in all of Joe's and Tanya's movies are kind of meshed in there, so it's a perfect little blend of things for me as a fan of both of my friends, Joe and Tanya, and I really enjoyed watching this film. George Stover is in there. It's a little tiny bit apart. You'll see him if you're a big George Stover fan. Manos returns. It takes place so many years later. The master is gone, but there is a new master. Who is the new master? Possibly Jackie. Maybe? Is she? I don't know. You have to watch this movie. So Manos Returns was a huge inspiration for me a year and a half, 2 years ago. Everybody that's in it, actually, all the actors, all the filmmakers involved in it, they inspire me every day that I wake up. Every time that I go sit down to write a script or go wake up at 5 in the morning to go to the movie set to start shooting, I always think about my friends that are filmmakers, and I always think about my friends that are actors and artists, and I think, what would they do? And then I get up and I have them in my heart with me as I shoot my films, which my newest one will be coming out in June, Specimen 6. Thank you very much. I have talked very little about the content of Manos Returns, but I will tell you, Manos Returns is a big love of mine. I can't wait to get it on Blu-ray because it's been too long since I've seen it at Crypticon, and I want to see it a million more times. All right, everybody. I will talk to you soon. This will be my last video from 2019, and my next will be next year. That'll be probably tomorrow. All right, well, Happy New Year, everybody, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.